Welcome to the Inside MusiCast Holiday 2025 wrap-up, and we've got the entire Inside Correspondent team here, except for Yinka. Yinka's going to be here shortly. Eddy, let's go around the room and just have everybody introduce themselves, because it's been a while since we've all been together. So who wants to start? Mikhail, you start.
Yep.
Hello, this is Mikael Engström in Stockholm, Tyresö, Sweden, saying hello to all of you out there in the Inside MusiCast world. Good to see you all.
All right. Loretta?
Hi, I'm Loretta Sassman here in Seattle. It's raining right now.
It never rains in Seattle.
It never does.
Kim?
Hi, I'm Kim Riley down in Boca Raton, Florida, and it's about 70 and sunny.
Perfect. Of course. Scott, on the other side of the state.
Yeah, on the west coast of Florida, in Largo, Florida, which is right in between Clearwater and St. Petersburg.
And then we've got, great. And then Don?
Yeah, just while we further the weather stereotypes, I'm in Canada, and yes, there is snow on the ground. I'm right up here.
And then, of course, Arnaud.
Yes, I'm Arnaud Léger from Paris, Texas. No, Paris, France. And I just can say, follow this wonderful team of EMC MusiCast, because they are all music lovers, and you have a lot of great information about the great music and not artificial music.
Right. Well, hey,
wait.
Good point.
Well, hey, on that note, Arnaud, speaking of artificial, I'll start with you. Some of these amazing AI album covers you've been bringing to life, even though I'm not really a big fan of AI, I'm a real big fan of what you're doing. Tell us about that process. Is it difficult?
I can't tell you secrets, but no, it's not difficult. In fact, one morning, I don't know why, I woke up and I told myself, I want to animate the covers of great albums. We all had when we were teenagers. I think about Bon Jovi, "Slippery When Wet," for example, and I tried to find on internet, and I saw nothing about it. So I just did it, and I think it's surprising. It's people like that, and I've fun to do this. But there's a concept, just animate the pictures and keep the title of the album and the artist name static, and the result is great. It's great.
Really, it's great. You're my favorite Instagram account now.
Thank you.
Arnaud did the Greg Gaines album for me.
Yeah,
I told
that's
him
right.
he needs to post it, but it's so cool.
So I don't want to tell the name, but there's a a Facebook friend who used to like my animated covers, and he did the same on his Facebook page, but without any concept, without any ideas. And there's a thing very important. You have to avoid to animate people's face, because I doesn't know the people, so it changed, the smiles, the look, and he did one with Bill Labonte, for example, and when you see the animation, you just push the button, animate, and you have the face of Bill who moves. And
Wow.
it's not Bill anymore. It looks more like Travis Street, you know. So you can't do that.
Yeah. It's a nice concept you've got going. It's very interesting. I like Don have been seeing all of your covers and animating and putting motion to static old classic albums is a great idea. We're going to see more of it probably in the marketing of albums, the way we're going in the future. So stick with it. And I have a feeling there's some new ground for you regarding your design efforts and illustrators. But fantastic job. Good job.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eddie. But you know, the most important is the idea, the concept. And
It is.
the last one I did was for Michael Frank's Barefoot on the beach.
Yeah.
So you have to show something. So the wave comes, and when it comes back, there's hands on the sand.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
And with that being said, Arnold, it's a beautiful picture you have behind yourself right now.
do you want me to change it?
No, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. It's
your friends are with us tonight.
yeah, it's genius.
All right, Eddie, do you want to dive into your set of material?
Yeah, this has been an interesting year with everything because, well, first of all, I want to give a shout out to some guys that have not showed up yet. Brian Pearson out of Chicago,
Oh, that's right,
Scott
Brian's
Sheriff out of Nashville, Yinka Oyelese, Dr. Yinka Oyelese. He's hasn't broken away yet. But anyway, that completes the whole staff. For anyone that doesn't know, is comprises of 11 people, including Rick and I. And I tell you, we've been doing this for a long, long time. And I know Mick and Don and Scott, Arnaud, and we've been doing this a long, long time. The team goes deep, and we want to express, first of all, our thanks to all the team members. I want to give some kudos out. As everybody knows, our album of the year picks have started posting already. I think we're on the third day, and Mick has posted. We have, when this airs, most of the week has already been posted. But thank you very much for our correspondents and their work on this, and really interesting picks in this whole thing. There really are. Every day we post some things, and it really surprises me as to what we're listening to. I want to address Don right now. Don, I got this. I had purchased this a couple weeks ago. Your new album. Congratulations on this, man. Tell us briefly where you are with everything right now. Are you going to be doing any shows? Give us a brief overview as to what's ahead for the next few months for you.
Well, how brief? It's minimum 2 hours would be the short version.
I'm sure. Yeah.
No, you know, I'm into a cycle now with Monkey House where we're every 2 or 3 years there's a new one, and this one, I mean, I always say this, but I feel like it's the best one we've done, and you know, songwriting wise, production wise, performance wise, all of that. And it came out in June, and we did a couple of shows, and it got very well reviewed, and you know, so the first run of it sold out really quickly, and all that. So all the the signs of life were there, and the streaming numbers are good too. So at a certain point, what you had in your hands there a minute ago, Eddie, is hopefully the first of the kind of limited edition audiophile, double vinyl, 180 gram colored vinyl editions of the whole Monkey House catalog. And in fact, I think, if I'm not speaking out of school, I could get in trouble for this. The label is thinking of acquiring my first 2 albums as well from the 90s and doing proper reissues on those as well. So it's great.
Good.
The other thing that I should mention coming into this year is that I just wrote a book about Mark Jordan. And
Yes.
Yeah, that's coming out in
Yes.
in January. And I had great fun with, interviewing Mark about his life story, and then just kind of having free reign to run out into the world and talk to this army of people that he's worked with over the years. So Rod Stewart and David Foster and Graydon and Gary Katz and Michael Omartian and all these people I got to have nice in-depth chats with in the course of writing the book. So that'll be on the streets very soon.
That's good.
Wow.
Appreciate you being on the team, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
It's nice. I was thinking it's got to be around 15 years now since I guess you got wind of Monkey House. I'm not sure through who originally. It might have been Brian, actually.
I think it was Rick. Who was it
that introduced us to Don?
Yeah.
It probably was Brian.
It was, right?
Yeah. Anyway, so that was headquarters, which is 15-ish years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Scott Sheriff has just joined us.
All right, Scott.
Hey there, Scott. No, maybe not. He's there, but
okay.
He'll be with us in a second.
He's there. Hey,
John, any plans to come to Seattle like Jazz Alley?
Well, there's touring with an 8-piece is fraught with, financial challenges, but the master plan is to hit all our fave cities in North America with this record. Seattle's definitely on that list. So I'm
going to put a request in for you.
Okay, I appreciate that. If you and 250 friends could just make a commitment, we'd be fine.
Yeah.
But
hey, Don, I have a question. When we're talking about the re-releases of the first album, are we talking about Welcome to the Real Club and True Winter?
We are indeed talking about
yeah.
They're going to need some remastering and brush up the artwork a little bit, but I still like those records. So
yeah,
it's fun to have them sort of in the family on the current label.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I have to treasure my 2 copies of Welcome to the Real Club then.
Well, they're hard to find, sitting in a gold mine there.
Yeah.
Scott Sheriff or Scott Gross, talk to us, man. You've seen some shows. Talk to us this year, because you make it a family thing, man. Your sons go with you to the great shows, and talk to us about what music has been for the Gross family and for you during this past year.
Yeah, I've had an opportunity to see a few shows. The last big show I went to see was this summer with Toto and Christopher Cross and Men at Work, which was great. Again, got to take my sons along with my wife and some friends, and really enjoyed that show. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. It's that show in particular, it brings me to a topic, and maybe I'd like your opinion quickly, because live shows are crazy in 25, and they're going to continue getting stronger. Live shows, arena shows, stadium shows, as we see more artists come into the picture. I mean, we see guys that are taking their music on cruises, the jazz cruises. I mean, I can't tell you, who do we have? My goodness, we have the Yacht Rock cruises, and let's see now, Pablo Cruz, Ambrosia, Don Felder. A lot of these, there's a lot more of live shows. Talk to us about your thoughts on that.
Yeah, the live shows are great. That probably the show that really surprised me, that I enjoyed as much as I did. It really is still with me. It was a show, a tribute to Burt Bacharach. It was done by the musical director was Rob Schrick-Bari, who is the husband of Rumer, the vocalist, UK vocalist Rumer.
Yeah.
He was the musical director. It had Todd Rundgren. It had just a great cast of singers, and everybody, all the musicians sang, in addition to the hired singers. But the main, attraction on it was Todd Rundgren, and it was absolutely fantastic. I know Rob has got tickets on sale right now for a UK show, and Dionne Warwick is part of that.
Wow.
Along with his wife Rumor, and some other singers that are going to be participating in that. But it's just a one-off show. I'm really hoping he's going to keep going with this, because it's that catalog of music, that Burt Bacharach, Hal David catalog of music, is just
Right.
an evening that can't be beat. And then to hear it from different vocalists taking turns on it, and hearing what their interpretation of the music is. Hearing Todd Rundgren sing "God Give Me Strength," which was originally recorded by Elvis Costello. Yeah, it was. He really took it through his own door, and it was fantastic.
Very cool. And which brings us to live music. When we talk about live music on our staff, that brings us to Kim Riley. So Kim, you've seen what's happening with not only because you put on a lot of shows with Seaside Music, but talk to us about what's 2025 has been for the live music business.
Well, yeah, so concert production is where I've been leaning in 2025. More or less just producing and promoting and selling out and producing. I've produced 2 of my own shows. One was over COVID and one was just after COVID. So I've been, I utilize them in 2025 as well. But it comes with so much, as the travels and things like that get expensive, and it's hard to sometimes travel a bunch of people and, bring them out. So I kind of stay in my backyard at this time. And I have leaned more on promotions and marketing. And I have found that, putting myself out there to be hired to do that for other promoters has been great for me for 2025. So I started off, continuing on with my path of producing. Artist management is really my, as you guys know, is my first job. But I shifted that over into concert production and producing shows and selling them and doing everything, producing them full circle as a company. But it comes with a lot of stress, and it comes with a lot of round the clock work. And so I have backed off a little bit, and every time I try to take a step back out of live music or out of the, my job, I get sucked right back in for some reason. Rick, if you had $1 for every time I said count them out, right, you'd be wealthy, right?
Yeah.
So I keep getting pulled back in because I have such a love for the artists that I do work with, who are unfortunately, starting to either not perform anymore, die off on us from the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. Artists are starting to. So I am shifting gears into promoting and producing for other people, for up and coming and other people. And that's been really good for me for 2025.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Scott, Sheriff, are you with us now?
I think so.
Good.
I thought I was being all responsible, set my alarm for 2:00, and I still got 30 minutes left before the chat starts. So,
well, welcome anyway, man.
Thanks. I thought Indy was with Nashville, since we're kind of straight south from you, but time zone craziness.
It is crazy. It's very dumb.
So Scott, what was 2025 like for you? You're still touring with Carrie Underwood, but is that as frequent as it used to be, or is that tamed off a bit?
25 was a super, super down year. We finished up our Vegas residency with 3 weeks in late March, early April. And apart from that, maybe did 4 or 5 one-offs or private shows, couple weekends at the Opry, but it's been what I've been doing most of the years, tribute shows and my solo show down at Hal's, the steakhouse in downtown Nashville, where I just go and play yacht rock for 4 hours every night. And it's super fun. And Clientele loves it. Man, loves having me, and it's real flexible. There's another guy there who's a guitar player. He kind of leans more bluesy, Clapton, Dire Straits, Van Morrison, that kind of thing. And I'm more the Pages and Al Jarreau and Kenny Loggins kind of stuff. And so the clientele's starting to ask, when I'm playing next. And so they got to keep a copy of my schedule over there to when people call up. So it's been a cool little gig. It's kind of a diamond in the rough place. It's real speakeasy, low lighting, no windows. Everything's dark wood paneling on the sides. It's real old school steakhouse, white apron, white shirt, ties, and just real cool vibe. They got a piano shelf there for me, and I kind of asked for a specific keyboard that they purchased for me, and same one I've got here at the house. So if I need to program like a Rhodes, or when we do Lowdown, I have to get that Leslie Wurlitzer thing going. So I do all the programming at home, drop it on a thumb drive, go down to the steakhouse, pop it in there, and load all my sounds, and I'm good to go. I play everything from Jeff Lorber. I do some instrumentals. I do Chicago Song by David Sanborn, and I play the sax leads and the soloing. And so I give my voice a break once an hour, and the rest of the time I've done these homemade tracks that I program at home. I try and copy the record, or I'll do my spin and make kind of some arrangement changes, or make my own broken down type arrangements if I feel like it's just too karaoke to do complete the whole thing like the record. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but I've got broken down versions of Ricky and Peg and a couple other Steely Dan. So it's got a wide palette. I'm always working at home to kind of stretch my repertoire and try new stuff, do new songs, add some Super Tramp. So it's a little bit of everything. It's super fun.
Cool. Will the shows with Carrie pick up in 2026, or is she not?
There's not really any plans for it to pick up in any way to speak of. She's not. The next time she tours will be when she releases an album, but they're not even talking about, she's not in the studio recording or writing or anything that we're aware of. She's just kind of at home gardening and raising her kids, and it doesn't seem to be any rush on delivering her last album to UMG. So we just continue to do the Opry about 6 or 7 weekends a year, and do the occasional private show for this company or that, fundraiser for this or that, and an occasional festival we'll ask to book her. And so we did one in Ocean City, Maryland last year, and a couple other ones, and there's already a couple of those on the schedule, but it'll primarily just be more tribute band stuff, more Hal's gigs for me next year.
Yeah. All right.
That's cool. Last question for you, Scott, is any 12 Against Nature shows, or what's the other band that you've got
Make Me
also?
Smile.
Yeah.
So we just once a year or at least once a year, we put the bands together and do a double bill. We just did one the Saturday after Thanksgiving. So those bands are finished for the year. We're working on, we booked a 12 Against Nature show first Friday in March. We actually have a 12 Against Nature show booked in August in Illinois. It's Princeton, Illinois. I don't know exactly where that is, but it's on August 14th. I'm going to be doing something in LA that's kind of interesting. It's in April. It's at the Kavli Theater on Thursday, the April 9th. There's a Steely Dan band in LA, or at least a guy who does Steely Dan shows. His name is Miguel Torre, and he's lined up a couple of shows in LA with, I guess, Keith Carlock, Freddie Washington, Royce Jones, and just some other Steely Dan alumni and Steely Dan adjacent players. and they're doing some Steely Dan shows out there. There's another one at the Belly Up in SoCal in August. I won't be on that one, but he needs singers, so he's flying out me and our 2 female background singers, and I'm actually going to be on the background vocal line for that show at the Cavalier Theater. So that's going to be pretty fun. Meeting some new people I haven't ever had a chance to meet yet. Eagle Maniacs is going strong. They play at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. So that's going to continue. We're starting to branch out, doing performing arts centers in the Southeast. Don't do too much with the Chicago show. It's really hard. It's that Cetera space is really hard to fill, and our guy is pretty busy. But we and also, at least for us, that repertoire kind of gets really thin really fast. It's hard to do a full night of Chicago when you don't delve into the David Foster wormhole with all those ballads. We try and keep it all Terry Kath Chicago, and they had a good number of hits, but when you're talking about a performing arts center that wants 2 one-hour shows plus a break, it gets thin, at least in my opinion. It gets thin pretty fast with what the fans know, even the hardcore Chicago fans kind of.
Yeah, that's why with our Brass Transit thing, we started doing some of the Foster stuff.
Yeah.
The original concept for the band was we would go up to about 76 or so. And then there was just enough demand there. People would come up like their heart was hurt. How could you not play
You're the inspiration.
Sorry, or Hard Habit to Break or something. So eventually we added 3 tunes from that era, just enough to sort of, placate that part of the audience.
Yeah.
Still probably 3/4 of it is the first 10 albums kind of thing.
Yeah, we've always done Please Hold On, because I really love that song. It's a great Champlin and Lionel Richie song. It's not too Fosterized. It's still got the brass as a significant section of that song. And it's funny because when the vinyl came out for Chicago 17, there was one version of Please Hold On. And then CDs were invented. And then a new version of Please Hold On came, which is my favorite. It's got that interesting bridge after the first verse on it, where it just goes, hold on, stay with me. Yeah. And then, but then after that, now on iTunes, if you go to it, it's back to the original, please hold on. And so we always do the middle arrangement because I think it's unique and I love that particular bridge. And it's weird that it never happens again. But people, even in band members, when the new guys come in to sub or whatever, they're thinking, where did you get this version of this song? And I'm like, that's the version I'm most familiar with, because when CDs hit, that's when I dug in to Chicago 17, and because it's sonically, it was so great. So that's the version that I like the most. And I think that's the version Champlin does when he plays it live. I could be wrong. He may have changed it, but I thought I'd seen a version of on YouTube of Champlin playing that song with that bridge after the first verse.
But that particular bridge, you can find it on the Lionel Richie Can't Slow Down, the deluxe version with extra demos. There you can find that particular version.
Oh, that's interesting. I mean, I still have an MP3 of it that I got.
Yeah, there is a demo on that particular CD, the deluxe version.
That's good. I'd love to hear that.
Especially Mikhail would know the answer to that.
If it's an old demo too, those are always fun to listen to.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for being with us, Scott. Appreciate all the input and good luck in 26, man. You're going to keep pretty busy. We'll try to go down to Hell's and get a steak and check you out, man. See
food's great. Yeah. Luckily, I can say that too and not be lying, but the food actually is really good. It's pricey, but for what you get, and you don't have to deal with all the Nashville downtown parking and traffic. They've got their own little valet. It's at the bottom floor of a hotel, so they have built-in valet that lets you off literally right at the door of the restaurant, and for house customers, it's pretty reasonable. As if you're just going downtown in Nashville, you're going to pay at least twice as much to park anywhere else.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, please.
I'd like to add something to Scott's conversation there. One of the shows I produced included Bill Champlin. And every time we did a show, one thing about him, because we were able to pull from the David Foster, he did a lot of his hits. And he would change the... he would change the song around on every show. Every song that he would do, he'd be in a different key. He'd change it every single time we would, go and do a show, and it would throw us off base. Like, the guys would be like, wow, we got to change this and change that. So he would come out and do his songs almost in a different way, almost every time he played them. So I just wanted to add that in because Bill's just genius like that.
Yeah, that's not surprising because I remember seeing Chicago with Earth, Wind and Fire, and I think they let him sing After the Love Is Gone, and he changed the melody so much.
Whoa.
I mean, I was such a fan of the original, I was almost a little bit tilted by it. I was like, come on, this is a iconic melody. The rest of us are only seeing this for the first time. I know you've done this 200 times. That's the kind of the thing I always deal with artists. They're sick of doing it this way. It's like, but your audience, they're the ones that came to see you, and they probably haven't heard you do it 200 times.
Yeah. He definitely would like to change it up. Like even Make Me Smile. Our horn player would go out and just go into this jazz fusion vibe for like a 3 to 5 minute solo in the middle of that song because that's what he wanted. People are like, where'd the song go? But then, you catch it and then it goes back in, and it was all the genius behind Bill. It was he's great. I love him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, so Loretta, what have you been up to? You had your backyard series this year again, right? You did a few shows, and I think you're headed to NAMM pretty soon.
I am. Yes, I'm so excited. This was the first year that I had an American Idol in my backyard.
Oh, cool. Who was that?
Thunderstorm.
Oh, cool. All right.
That was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. Local legend Andy Stokes, some R&B and funk. And then, of course, Mark McMillan and his wonderful wife, Ann Pricey Diggs. Oh, my gosh. And it's so great that when they're in town, I feel like a freaky fan. I just have to be where they're at, when they're performing because they're just so amazing. And we had such a great, great time. And what was really cool about that particular show is I always perform one song for the most part with my artists that perform. And so I did a Bobby Caldwell tune because the original date was August 15th, but we got thunderstormed out. It was very dangerous, so we didn't do it. So I did All or Nothing at All, and that was really cool. But Wands, who did the hook to the Thrift Shop song with Macklemore. Do you guys remember that song?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna drop some cash.
Yeah.
He lives in the area. And so he performed My Flame. And Mark and Ann backed him. It was beautiful. I got to do some harmony with him, and then Michael Wands did back up with me. It was just such an incredible time. And so yes, I am going to NAMM, and something pretty cool has happened. A local guy who also does house shows, but his are indoors. He's one of the moderators at NAMM, and he lives near me. And someone introduced us, and he wants to combine our efforts. I think he thinks that I know people, so he wants to collaborate with me on bringing in new artists. So Scott, if you need a new place, we could do a summer or we could do an indoor if you want to come up to Seattle and perform your whatever you want to do. It would be great. It would be so awesome. And been to a lot of shows this year, 2025, but the most recent was Young Gun Silver Fox. And man, they're just so amazing. They didn't have their horns with them on this tour. But nonetheless, it was magical. I don't know how to explain it. They were just so incredible, so amazing. I brought a party with me, which was really neat. They had never heard of Young Gun Silver Fox, so now they're fans. And we were trying to get together to like maybe do a little quick interview, but the day got away from them, got away from me, and they had priorities. They had to go to the Twin Peaks Cafe where they filmed Twin Peaks.
Oh.
And I live really close to that, so I know I would have met them there, and that would have been fun. But we did a funny, or they did a little funny non-interview sitting on either side of me. So I'm going to try to get that together for right away for tomorrow, hopefully. But man, they're just so amazing, so cool. Such stellar musicians. I can't wait for them to come back. And by the way, I did mention to Sean that if you ever wanted to come and perform in Lowe's backyard, he's more than welcome. And he said, "Oh, I'd love to do that." So, you never know. I mean, it's quite a hike to come from England to come to Seattle, but yeah, just Seattle needs more yacht rock. You guys are so fortunate in Europe and on the East Coast to have a lot of that music. I feel like we're just so malnourished. And it comes to, there's just really nothing. And so it was really neat to see young people. Oh, Yinka. To see young people and older at their show, that was really cool.
Hey, Yinka. Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Happy holidays.
Hey,
It's so
Yinka.
good to see you.
Good to see you. I'm glad you can make it, Yinka.
Yay. Thank you. Sorry, I've been crazily busy.
I can see you've been to India and around the world, and you found time for us. Thank you. Thank you.
Come on. It's a pleasure. I love you guys. You guys are my family. And thank you for spreading the joy and love and peace that we need through brotherhood, sisterhood, fellowship. Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Well, we have you on. A lot has been happening with you musically. I mean, you only have a top singer that you're married to, Patrice Jago, and you've we always see you conversing with the guys in LA, although you're in Wayne, Boston. So how do you juggle what you do in the music scene, Yinka? How do you stay above it with that?
Well, I have to be candid. I haven't done very much musically of late. A lot of what I do is rehashing. We did a lot of work in LA a few years ago, and we were very blessed to work with a lot of players and musicians and engineers, some of whom have passed on, unfortunately. So, I'm going through old stuff, doing some remixes, doing some videos and so on. But Patrice is also performing a little bit. So, yep, that's it.
That's great. Well, thank you so much for being on the team, man. We really, we know that you're super busy, but that's what I love, Rick, about our team is that it's so eclectic. Our team, over all the years that you guys have been with us, Lowe and Scott Sheriff, and both Scotts, as we say, SS and SG. Forgive us, but we were sometimes referred to everybody with initials, BP, EC. But we're in our 20th year. I'm sort of bringing it around, Rick. We're in the middle of our 20th year right now, man.
Yeah, and I wanted to actually pose a question to the group. This being our 20th year of Inside MusiCast, and I wanted, which is hard to believe, but I just wanted to ask each of you. We'll go around the room again. Just if you could, if it's easy to do off the top of your head, share just one element of your experience with Inside MusiCast that you're grateful for or has meant a lot to you, or maybe it's a connection you've made. Tell us something about just being on the team with us that has, I don't know, been beneficial or has meant something to you. We'll start with let's start with Mikhail over in Sweden.
Well, just throwing out the question like that, what I have experienced is how many people actually that know about Inside MusiCast, because every time I visit a venue, I might get recognized by the fact that I'm affiliated with the Inside MusiCast, and I always hear people saying how much they appreciate the work and how much they appreciate the interviews, the podcasts, in order to be able to dig deep into musicians and hear the stories, hear the history. In Sweden, we have a deep appreciation for what we might refer to as West Coast music, and I can really sense that people really love the work that you guys do with the interviews and perhaps the background research that we might provide and stuff like that, and that's a really cool thing to experience, the fact that it actually means a lot to people and to fans. That's a really great thing to experience when you are out, seeing live gigs, meeting with persons, and just discussing our common love for music.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And what about you, Arnaud?
For me, it's very clear. I've been following Inside MusiCast from the beginning, and I was very impressed by your interviews, you and Eddy. Interviews with the musicians, session musicians, I like, we all like. And in France, I didn't have any information about those musicians, and you gave these interviews, and it was very interesting every time. So and after that we got in touch, and I met Eddy in Paris, and that's why I'm a part of your family, because it's like a family Inside MusiCast. So thanks to everyone. And 20 years, it's crazy.
That is crazy.
It is. When we first met,
flies.
I was going to say that in case you guys don't know that, Arnaud, when we first connected, and I think you still do it, is you still have your West Coast Rendezvous, which is a podcast it's more posting of albums and reviews and that type of thing. You've been doing that for longer than we've been doing that in Inside MusiCast, and that's how we sort of connected. But again, I say we've got some of the smartest people, the most knowledgeable, and the diverse group of people on the whole team. So Arnaud, thank you so much. We appreciate you.
Thank you to you, and my pleasure was always to spread the word about the artist we like, and to make people know about music and great albums. And my favorite pleasure was to make Mikael Engström know about a band called Pages.
There you go.
And now he is a real hard fan, so I'm very happy to be.
Well, I can't thank you enough, Arnaud. I owe you everything. I owe you everything. And that's a great thing as well, because back in 2020 we got to meet with Arnaud and Uwe and Rick and Eddie in Stockholm at the Padish tribute, and also this was an amazing thing that happened just a couple of months ago when Scott Gross and Michael Haddad was in Stockholm, and we spent a week together in Stockholm visiting and seeing the Ole Börud concerts at Fasching and in Örebro. You have some words to fill in here, Scott, about that trip?
Oh, well.
Oh, well, there you are.
Two words. He's done.
Yeah. Oh, it's you. It's you.
Speechless. That's all I can say. Speechless. No, it was like a dream. It really was. It still feels like it was a dream. It was just so incredible. And that's been what's great for me with Inside MusiCast. Mikhail and I, we had connected before Inside MusiCast, but 98% of my social media interactions have always been positive. I've had next to zero negative situations online, because the majority of the people I connect with are very much like all of us, people who are really enthusiastic about great music. And since coming on with Rick and Eddie, we've all been able to share those things with other people, and music is like that special sauce that makes you best friends with just about anybody you meet when you have the same musical interest. You're instant best friends with decades of references to talk about and reminisce about. And it's the hang is almost infinite. I'll never forget the first time I met Don at NAMM, and we were all running around and everything. We said, let's take a break. Let's go in this this restaurant over here in this hotel and just sit and hang out. Well, we ended up forgetting about NAMM and just hung out in the booth of this restaurant talking the rest of the afternoon. Don finally looks at me and goes, "Man, this booth hang is much better than NAMM."
It was classic.
So many people just hanging out, but
it really
was. The Ole Brood concert was absolutely incredible. I actually texted him the other day and just said it was so much better than we even expected, and it was such a privilege to be able to be there. Mikhail and his family went over and above to take care of us, and that's why it's been like a dream to have had that experience and hang out with one of my dearest friends for over 20 years now, that I finally get to see his daughter and his grandchildren in person and see where he lives and where he comes from. It was very, very special.
And we got to see the Parliament.
And the Parliament, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, you got the Parliament tour too? You get to do that?
And the Echo Room was incredible.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Mikhail, you gave Eddie and me a tour of Parliament late at night when we first got into Stockholm that day. We hadn't slept for 24 hours, but we saw Parliament.
We almost got arrested.
Yeah.
We snuck away.
So yeah, I mean, what you guys are saying is exactly the way I feel about what this little endeavor has brought to us, and it's as many musicians as we've interviewed over the years, and as cool as that is, what I think is even more important is the fact that I've met all of you, and we have this connection together. And then even on our site, we've like our Facebook page, which is basically our central conduit for all of our information. There's so many people that have been just regulars of the show that just will write me out of the blue. All the people that we've met from over the years, to me that's what this is all about. It's of course it's about the music, it's about the musicians, but having all of you as friends and colleagues is even more important. So I really appreciate that about Insight.
I can just tell you that one of our former guests, and that you, Rick and Eddie, and also Scott got to meet in Stockholm, Quint Starkey. He is playing tonight and tomorrow night, opening for the 80s band China Crisis at the Cavern in Liverpool.
Wow. That's cool.
Yeah. So that's sacred ground.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Tell Quint hi for us. We met him. He's one of my favorite musicians, and I think still on my list for someone to interview from your neck of the woods over there in Norway will be Lars DK. So I have not lost hope that we'll get Lars if he ever delivers some new music. So maybe 2026 is going to be the year that we might be able to do it. So
he's on his way to preparing songs for his forthcoming album.
Yeah.
And then I know, Yinka, your time is short because you probably have to get back to it. But what are your thoughts? Did you have anything you wanted to add?
Yeah, well, I grew up in Nigeria. And, in Nigeria, it was a little bit different. We didn't have the access that many people have in the West. But I never really cared about the music stars. I read everything on the album, the liner notes, like you guys did,
That's my man.
A lot of secret, the hidden giants who really played the music. Nobody knew anything about them. And I was a big fan. And so I think I stumbled on Inside MusiCast when you did an interview of someone early. I don't know if that was Michael O'Mardian or Leland Flower or someone. And I found you. And, these are people that I had looked up to for years musically. And finding out so much about them through your amazing interviews. It's funny because now there are lots of interviews of studio musicians. There are quite a few of them. Some of them are really doing, have exploded. But you guys are what they call the OGs.
Yes.
Well, I'd like to, let me tell you something here. Now that you're talking about the OGs, I pulled this one fact. In 2006, when we started, there were around 6,000 podcasts globally. In 2006. In 2025, there's 4.52 million podcasts. And, we've been at this a long time, even before Apple Music was around. And we are the OGs. I mean, we are old. Does OG mean old guys?
Old guys. We're the old guys.
The old guys, yeah. But I think we are the OGs, and especially when it comes down to long form podcasting and interviews, the podcasting realm has changed so much. Everything is so convenient and sort of schlocky a little bit, but the quality is all there. But one thing that I'm very glad about is that our correspondents reflect the quality of what we reflect. And kudos to all of you. We're very honored and to have distinguished people in the business. Kim, Scott, both Scotts, Yinka, Mikhail, and Arnaud. You guys are very distinguished in the area. And so when people do go out and they do go to a show, and I've had people say, "Hey, aren't you so-so?" They call me, "Hey, aren't you?" I had one guy in Chicago say, "Aren't you Rick Such?" I said, "Yeah, I'm Rick Such." So, but anyway, anyway, I do consider Rick my twin brother of a different mother. It's almost as if we know the hand signals and how to do the interviews and this and that, and you get to do an awful lot of things in 20 years,
Yeah.
But it's a long time. But you guys, you guys have been there all along with us, and we can't thank you enough. This has never been about the money for us. This has been about just loving the music, and we
Money?
know that.
What money?
What
money?
Yeah, what money? That's why it's never been about the money.
Oh, I thought you said honey.
This has never been about my honey, but it's.
If I can add one thing to that statistic you pointed out, where when we started there were 6,000 and now there's over 4 million podcasts. There is a glut of podcasts now, and the people who we've been interviewing all these years are now being interviewed by so many different people, and there's so many and there's some really great ones out there too. I won't deny that. But the one thing I think that we've done is we've stayed above board on the whole sensational aspect of it. Even some of the great podcasts that are out there now, and I'm not going to mention any names, they tend to get. They tend to use, I don't know how you would put it, sensationalism to drive, clickbait into their, and we've never done that. And it's not been important to us to do that. We just want, I don't want masses of people listening to this show if they're not interested. I want people who really love these types of musicians that we interview. I want them to be here and appreciate it for what it is and not try to draw people in by clickbait. So, I mean, that's important to us, and it always has been. There's a couple of stories we could tell about how, there were some musicians that we've interviewed that have sort of spilled the beans about things they weren't supposed to spill the beans about, and we caught it, and we let them know about it, and we cut those parts of the interviews out because we didn't want, to feed any of that before, out into the public before they had a chance to do it. So, but anyway, that's important to us is to stay.
And honestly, I totally bypass all of that. I don't want to know the negative of some musician that I've long admired.
Exactly.
Life is life. We all have things that we're going through. This is why I always loved Inside MusiCast, because I've always been interested in the background, the who, what, where, and how of music, how it's produced. I mean, I'm not really a musician, but I'm a liner note geek. I've always been since I was a kid. And so that's all that really interests me is, and I know that there's a lot of people that feel the same way. When I see the headlines of they said, and they, this is why this song was written. I don't want to hear that. That's not interesting to me. And that's what I love about Inside MusiCast too, is that, you all set the standard. And that, it's a high bar.
Well,
Thanks,
thank you very much.
Yeah.
We appreciate that because you guys all contribute to that. Now, looking forward to 2020.
Don has his hand up.
Okay, go for it. Please.
Don.
Go for it,
I'm a
Don.
good student. I raised my hand.
Yeah.
I
You've got to go, right, Don?
No. I just, I have to go pretty soon. But what Loretta was just saying, that goes to the heart of it. It's that feeling of, you run into this group of people, and all of a sudden you go, "Oh, I'm not alone." There's a whole bunch of people, and they're spread all over the world, and they all know whether Michael Boddicker programmed the synthesizers on track 4 on side 2 of this album.
Right.
And it's just kind of, as Scott was saying, you get into these conversations, or you sort of, you pop the lid off it, and you realize that there's this deep well of knowledge and respect and engagement with the music. And before you know it, you realize you didn't just overlap on the original thing you were talking about, but the other 500 things as well. I don't know if you can hear that construction noise. I'm hoping you can.
I thought you were playing guitar, shredding or something.
Oh, it just started.
You got to fix that cabinet on your amp.
Yeah, I thought someone was micing a guitar cabinet there.
Anyway,
Don's next project.
It's nice to find other liner note, people who aren't sort of like, we're all deluged by this kind of fire hose of cheap, half thought out music all the time. And it's nice to have this core group where everybody's looking for the best, whether or not it's a top 10 hit, whether or not it's new, irrespective of all that. Just, is it good? Is really the only question, you know?
Yeah, good point. Good point.
Absolutely.
Kind of going back to Inside MusiCast and what it's done personally for me. And I'm going to say, and Rick, you can fact check me. I believe I've been here since almost the beginning, maybe 6 or 8 months, or maybe a year into the podcast. So the thing with Inside MusiCast is you guys have made an execution in interviews to surpass the norm. There's nothing atypical about an Inside MusiCast interview or podcast. It goes beyond, it goes underneath it all. It takes the artist to a place where they have to think about it. I've met some of the artists that we've interviewed at shows or whatever, and they say, one of the things that I love about Inside MusiCast is they asked me things that I had to think about or whatever, like some of the questions that you guys dig up about how they made a record or whatever the questions were on the interview are not your typical questions that you hear. You watch an interview on somebody. If you watch one, you kind of watch the next 5, right? But you watch Inside MusiCast interview and you're watching a brand new interview because y'all have hit on different things. Maybe it's the liner notes. Maybe it's, different questions that are not atypically asked. So the way you guys have executed Inside MusiCast, I have to go back and just give all the kudos to you and Eddy. None of us would be here without you two, Rick, you and Eddy. And the way that you have brought it forward with class and professionalism has surpassed anything that I've seen interview-wise. So, and I've been fortunate to bring some people to the table and actually be in some of the interviews going back 10, 15, 20 years. And it's been like a highlight of my career to be able to do that because you're learning about the artist on levels that no other interview is allowing you to learn. And then the vast knowledge of the crew, of the group that's in here, I've learned so much from each and every one of you guys just on a different level. It's just things. And, I like to think I know about some things until I speak to the Inside MusiCast group. And then I realize I really don't know all that. So it's just been really a pleasure for me. And this is one of the highlights of my career. So I just wanted to thank Rick and Eddy, kind of put it back on you guys for allowing this platform. You're doing such a great job.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
And I just wanted to mention to those watching or listening to this that these were not paid testimonials, and we had nothing.
This came from my heart. It came from my heart. Yeah.
That's right. Blink twice if you need help, Kim.
It came from my heart, honestly. Yeah.
Well, we're excited to keep forging ahead in 2026. We've got a couple of new interviews that we're lining up. We can't mention anything about them yet publicly, but we've got a couple of really good ones that are on tap for the first part of the year, and then we'll just keep moving ahead. So we appreciate everybody's time today. And Eddy, was there anything else you wanted to ask or add?
Happy holidays, everybody. Come up for air, rest up. There's so much stuff going on, but enjoy time with family and those that are very close. Every day is fleeting, and we only have so much time to do what we do. And I'm glad that we can do this together. So thank you very much.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Are we going to have a reunion? There are plans for a reunion?
You know what? I was actually going to throw that out, and all I was going to say was, maybe one of these days that we all will get together and have a big dinner together. I don't know.
It'd be cool to have like another Toto Fest or something.
Yeah.
Well, I can invite you to Stockholm because if all the plans fall into pieces, it's not 2026, but probably I can welcome you to a West Coast tribute at Fasching, first quarter of 2027.
My husband would freak out. He loves Stockholm. He has cycled through there with his.
Planning starting 2026,
Okay.
and hopefully it all will go well.
I hate flying, but I'll go.
I hate flying too, but I don't have to fly, so.
We'll have to talk to you more about that later, Mikhail, because I saw I saw something on Facebook about this, and I've been meaning to ask you what that's all about. So maybe we'll have to touch base on that. So that sounds exciting.
And then maybe because, Kim's really busy, maybe she could arrange something and we could all be in Boca Raton.
I would love that. I would put together an Inside MusiCast concert where everyone in Inside MusiCast that's a musician would play on the stage.
It's awesome.
Promote that as an Inside MusiCast concert. Yeah.
That sounds great.
Doors
All right.
out.
It would be great.
You never know what'll happen.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. We appreciate your time, and we'll keep moving ahead in 2026.
Thank
Alrighty.
you guys. Happy holidays.
Thank you, guys.
Take care.
Happy holidays.
All right.
See you later.
Happy holidays
Bye-bye.
to
See you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
all.